actually violating the international law. The U.S. imperialists used germ and chemical weapons at random, and even hatched a heinous plot to drop an atomic bomb upon the heads of the Korean people.
For the 30 years, 3 months, and 12 days was Private E1 to Command Sergeant Major, E9. Well, you're looking at 3 up, 3 down, and a star with a wreath around it in the center. You can't get any higher than that. In the military, you got two different versions. You got enlisted and you got officers. Yeah. In terms of enlisted, that's the highest rank you can get. But yeah, I was stationed in the DMZ in separated North and South Korea. I can walk over in North Korea anytime I wanted to. I was there for a year. Well, when I say I could walk into it anytime, if you've ever seen those buildings that along the DMZ, and you see these soldiers standing out, that's what our battalion did. We guarded the where they had the peace accords. So when the North and the South ever decide to have peace accords or any kind of meetings, the South Koreans will sit on this side of the table in what they call the JDO building, and the North Koreans will sit on the other side of the table. But you could get up and walk around inside that building and you could be in North Korea. Now, you can't physically walk into North Korea, no. I mean, once you cross over that line, they can and have and will shoot you. Same thing. I mean, you would subject yourself to, getting captured or killed. I mean, you would more than likely you'd become a prisoner of war, so to speak, from their perspective. So while I was there was a Soviet individual. I don't know what his purpose there, but he was on the North Korean side, and he was taking a tour of the JSA, the Panmunjom, or whatever you want to call it, and he decided he was going to defect. So he ran across the border, and of course the North Koreans came with him, and we were shooting at them, they were shooting at us, and we had a couple people got killed, and we took out as many of them as we could. But anyway, they did not get the Soviet defector. We actually put him in a vehicle and rushed him to Seoul, and they found out that he had planned this. He was going to defect, and he had seems like he had 25 or 30 rolls of film that he was taking of secret or places in North Korea, and he turned that over to the government. And of course, they wanted him back. But I was there for a year. For 1 year. It's not a very nice place, I can tell you that. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, and back in I don't remember the date, but back in the 70s, they had a couple of Americans that went not right into JSA, but it went down toward the border, like you said, on one side of it, and they were chopping down some trees. Well, the North Koreans came over and killed all of them. So they call it the tree chopping massacre or whatever. But you'd have to look that up. But it's all on the, it's all documented. But it's really a bad. To me, it was a really bad place to be, because being in the JSA, all night long they would play. The North Koreans would play propaganda music, telling you to defect, and they're just using us as puppets, and it's a strange place. But I'm not sure I would.
Do we have reason to be concerned as far as trusting them with this?
I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust North Koreans with anything, but because I mean, look at it. They can change their mind on anything they do, and they can do whatever they want. Now, having said that, you asked me had I been in North Korea. That's not true. I did go into North Korea, and it was a humanitarian mission, and we actually, as soldiers, went in and planted rice for them over in North Korea. Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, the general public in North Korea is starving to death. What you see on TV is not what the general public is. The people out in the fields and the towns and stuff like that. So they were starving to death, and we went over and helped them. I walked through rice paddies all day long planting rice, which I'm not much of a farmer, but it was a humanitarian thing, and they let us in there, and we did that for I don't know, a week or so, and so technically I've been in North Korea, you know.
How far into North Korea was that?
I would say we probably 4 or 5 miles, I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean,
Were the rice fields big?
oh yeah, rice paddies are huge. I mean, they're just you know, like you see these farms with tobacco rows and corn fields. They look just like that, except you know, rice is only a little.
Whose idea was it to do
I'm
that?
sure that was a political move for I mean, it had to be approved to the Americans, had to approve it and all that, but
Were you armed when you were in there? Were you allowed to carry sidearms?
actually, I don't think so. I mean, were we allowed to? Whether we were allowed to or whether we did, it wouldn't have mattered if the North Koreans decided they were going to take us out. I mean, it wouldn't have been an issue. I mean, they could have, but I think they knew we were there to help them. You know, it's like helping. I guess kind of like petting a dog. You know, you don't know whether he's going to bite you or not, so you got to be cautious about it. But I didn't see it as a military operation. I looked at it I thought of it as more of a humanitarian deal, and didn't think of it as needing a weapon or wanting a weapon.
What rank